Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from Model Making Guru here. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Warhammer Conquest build. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, I'm working my way through the Hachette Partwork's Warhammer Conquest series. Magazines that you get for a month with lots of little model kits and paints and all kinds of good stuff to build up slowly over the course of about 2 years or 80 issues, an entire Warhammer army. In fact, 2 Chaos and Space Marines. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I tend to do one episode each time, and it covers 4 magazines, and it's a lot of building, a lot of painting. I've come to a decision. I'm going to change things up a little bit going forward. Filming one episode that covers all 4 issues each month, I'm trying to fit in all the building and painting. It's not really working. So from now on, you're going to get more episodes, more frequently, but shorter. For example, this episode is going to offer a quick look at all the 4 magazine issues for this month, so 15, 16, 17 and 18. And then there'll be 4 episodes to follow, each one focusing on the build and paint for one of the issues. So the first one will be 15, then 16, then 17, and so on. And I'm going to do that going forward. Hopefully this way I can get episodes for this series out to you faster and without making lots of cuts and omissions, because I have to take lots of stuff out to get it to fit into one episode. And it is becoming a bit challenging knowing I've got all this to do each month, and yet I've got other things to film and do as well. So if I break it up into smaller episodes, I can fit these in easier with other stuff that I have to build. So hopefully going forward, it means I can do more episodes for you more frequently. They'll just be a bit shorter, and I can spend a bit more time on the painting in each episode. Anyway, let's crack on. So this episode, we're going to have a look at the 4 magazines that we received this month. Keep in mind, I'm running behind. I'm a bit late than everybody else because I didn't subscribe till a bit later. So we're going to have a look at the 4 issues that come this month, 15 to 18, and what comes with them. Let's go check them out. Now, it's worth noting, if you're a subscriber to this magazine, not to my channel, obviously, but you should subscribe to my channel. If you're a subscriber to this magazine, Partwork, it's another free gift month this month. We get a freebie, so I'll show you that towards the end. If you just go into your local newsagents and buy these off the shelf, you won't get the freebie, so you should think about subscribing. Anyway, issue 15. Now, if you've watched the previous videos, you know that I'm not really focusing on the gameplay at all, so only have a quick squiz through the magazines. We're going to focus mostly on the models. So with issue 15, this month we're getting, or this issue, we're getting the Biologist Putrifier. Yes, which is basically a big, nasty, death, sort of chaos dude, death guard dude. And what he does is, he can see inside the enemy. He can see inside people and see how diseases are sort of working their way through enemies. And he can work to then feed that back and help make their weapons even more potent and deadly. So, mingy. So we've got a bit of fluff about the Biologist Putrifier. We're going to learn about the Horus Heresy for the first time and a bit more fluff and storyline. Then, of course, we move into the building of the dude, and I'll show you the sprues in a moment. We'll just do the magazines first. We're going to go through the usual buildy painty stuff. Now, if you've watched these again previously, you'll know that for most of the models we're going to get in this series, I'm going to follow the painting guide in the magazine. It's not going to give us the most fantabulously painted figures in the world, but a lot of you might just be sticking to this level. It's going to give us a basic tabletop painting quality, I think. Nobody knows because nobody's got to the end of it yet. I think that's what it's going to do. So we're going to follow the magazine. For this guy, we're just going to follow the magazine. But for a few of the models, I will then separate out and do separate videos showing you how to do a proper grown-up paint job. And I'll call those out as we go through them. I don't think we have any this month, but we'll see. So we've got all the painting guide. And then we go into the gameplay side of it, which we're not going to focus on here, but in this issue we are getting a bit more information about different weapon types. So that's kind of cool. And you get your stat sheets here. Now, if you subscribe and you've got the premium package, you will have got, or you will receive over time, actual separate stat cards and data sheets for all of the units in your armies. If not, you're just getting them on these pages. So if you're not a premium subscriber and you're not getting all the extra stuff, make sure to keep all these because you'll need them. You'll need them when it comes to playing the game. So keep all these. If you've not got the binder, you should have the binder, but keep them in the binder. These will be useful when it comes to playing the game. Next up is issue 16, and in issue 16 we get some reinforcements for our Space Marine army. We get an Inceptor, a flying dude, and 4 Hellblasters. And we also learn a few more rules about gameplay, in this case relating to flying units. So as always, it starts off with some blurb and explanation of your new unit. This is all about the Inceptors, which are basically, a simple way to boil them down, they're Space Marines with flying jetpacks that can launch from orbit, and so they do halo jumps and they can fly around. They're not just walking about on their normal feet. So there you go. So that's your Inceptors. Talks you through their war gear, goes through the how to build and how to paint. You've got the 4 Hellblasters and you've got the Inceptor. Now, like I said, we are going to be pulling things out every now and then to do special paint jobs on them. Not for these guys. These are just Space Marines. It's the same as the other Space Marines. Yes, the Inceptor has a bit more gear, but there's nothing too complex about painting that. It might be the case that once we've finished this whole series, we'll have 2 groups. We'll have all the stuff that's painted to the magazine standard, the majority of this, these entire 2 armies. It's going to be a basic tabletop, and then there'll be a bunch of dudes and vehicles that'll be painted to a proper hardcore professional standard, like I would normally paint them to. And it's just to give people who are watching this who aren't beginners something to, you know, work towards. What I might do though, when we get to the very end, it might be that I might pull out some of the tabletop painted ones and strip them down and repaint them at a better level because they look kind of cool. It might be, say, the Inceptors. So if we do that, I will then film extra episodes where we repaint those guys in the more professional standard, as it were. So we have the how to paint guide. We've been here before. It's just ultramarines, gold and silver and black, but I'll be showing you some extra tips for the black as always. And then we get to the gameplay, where it's going to give you some more information about flying units, in this case the Inceptors, how they can use vertical cover and go over things that normal Marines can't. And of course, again, you've got the data sheets. If you're a subscriber, keep these safe because you'll need them. If you're a premium subscriber, keep them safe, but you will, I think you do end up getting data cards, physical cards for all of them. Then we have issue 17, which nothing too exciting in this one. We don't get anything new. We get, again, the Munitorum armoured container with its barrels and ammo crates that we've had before. So because there's no new units in this one, we're just going to get some background fluff in this episode, or in this issue, I should say. Just keep confusing episode and issue, and my brain just doesn't know which one to say. It's like, In this one we talk about the Chaos Gods. We learn about Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle and Slaanesh. This one focuses on Nurgle, though. Bit of background fluff and some other information. Then of course it goes through the building of the container, which I've showed you before, and the painting of the container. Now if you remember in the last proper buildy video we did, I put the container to one side and didn't paint it because one of the containers, we're going to have 3 of these by the end of this build series. One of the containers I'm going to do a proper full-on paint job, and that's the one I've put to one side. So I haven't shown painting one of these yet. So this one, I'm going to paint the container exactly as the magazine suggests. I think the last one was going to be grey, this one's going to be blue. So I'm going to follow the magazine for painting this one. What I will do though, because I've put the container to one side, in the last video I did paint the ammo boxes and so on as the magazine suggested. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the boxes, the ammo boxes, and put them to one side to go with the container that I've got to one side for a proper paint job. So we're going to do some of those properly as well. I don't know why I didn't do that in the last episode, put the containers to one side as well, but we painted them, so not much I can do now. And the barrels, again, doesn't seem to want you to paint them just yet. So, still have some unpainted barrels. And then, of course, it's got some more gameplay. Seems quite quick this time. I think it's just a few more sort of deployment options and tactics that you can use. And that then concludes issue 17. And last of all, we have issue 18, which is a plastic-free zone. No models included with this issue, but we do get 2 cool new paints. So it's going to be a backtracing or backtracking our steps and repainting some of the stuff we've already built. Episode for, or section for this. Now, because there's no new plastic in here and no new kits or units, it's going to be mostly about fluff. Starts off talking about the Silver Templars and explains that chapter to you. Keep in mind, if you're a beginner and you've never painted before, you're going to be painting Ultramarines regardless. This is just nice background fluff. But if you're a more advanced modeler, you might be painting your army in this scheme, so give it a go. It explains about bolt weapons, the holy weapons of the Space Marines, and it talks about a bit about the Hellblasters that you made earlier on, the ones that came with your Inceptor. Gives you a bit of information on those. The painting section, there's no building section, the painting section, you've got 3 new paints. It's going to take you through adding those paints to your existing models, because this is a backtrack section now. And it's all going to be fine detail work. So if you've still got that brush that you started out with that came in the first issue, you might find it actually useful for this because it is quite fine. If not, if you've not been using that because you've got decent brushes, you can be using a fine detail brush. So we're going to go through in this, when we do this episode, it'll be a backtracking and adding all the details to the existing models. And then very small part about gameplay at the back. There's not really much here. A couple of new tactics for you, a couple of new missions because you've nothing new to add to the gameplay. And then at the end, it goes through the big new playmat that comes with this magazine. I'll show you that shortly. It's quite large. I don't know how I'll get it on camera. So that is the 4 issues. So let's have a look at all the hardware and plastic and goodness that come with the 4 issues this month. Okay, before we get going, I have to apologise. First of all, I have to apologise for the rumbly tummy that was in those last few sections. I hadn't had my lunch and I was starving and I didn't realise the microphone was picking it up, so all those funny little noises, especially if you're listening on headphones, I have to apologise. I was watching it back and I'm like, you can hear me belly, belly's going to get you, yeah, I could hear all that, but I didn't want to re-record it because it's too late. I've taken the magazines apart, so oh well, never mind. The other thing I wanted to point out before we look at what we get is, in this month's issues, if you are a subscriber, you get this. It's a letter. Now, I need to make you aware of this. We're probably going to have a few of these as the Partwork goes through over the next 60 weeks. What they do is they'll throw, if you're not a premium subscriber, I assume this is nothing to do with premium subscriptions. Even if you're just a bog standard subscriber, they're going to throw some freebies in, or not freebies, but extras. And the first one that's coming up is this Warhammer art book. Now, the way they're doing it is you have to pay attention to the letters you get with your monthly subscriptions. This is saying we are going to make available to you this big nice book. We have reserved it because you're a subscriber. We have reserved it in your name, and it's going to cost you, I think it's €14.99 or €19.99 for the Republic of Ireland. It's going to cost you $14.99. We've reserved one in your name. If you don't want it and you don't want to spend that money, call us or email us and let us know. So you need to make sure whenever you are getting your letter each month and your subscriptions, pay attention to what you're getting. There may be extras like this they'll throw in every now and then. They're going to charge you for them. They're not free, but they'll give you a month's notice and say, we're going to put one inside for you. If you don't want it, let us know and we won't send it and we won't charge it. So always check the stuff that comes with your subscription each month. I didn't realise this. I've only just read this now and I've already received like next month's thing and I'm like, oh well, it doesn't really matter, it's kind of cool anyway. But just keep your eyes peeled on the letters that come in. It's an opt-out, not an opt-in. So first off, in issue 15 you get, yes, the dice. You get these little puppies, 6 of them, 6 more dice to play your game with. And of course you get this beauty, the Biologist Putrifier, another lovely Death Guard model here. Again, it looks like a halfway step between the proper traditional build and the sort of easy build already slightly partly assembled. So that's looking fantastic. And if you see there some of the detail on these skulls and bottles and vials, oh, that's delightful. Lovely. These are some beautiful sculpts. So much detail and surface texture. It's a shame almost to paint these the way it suggests in the magazine, because it's, I don't know, it's going to be a real tabletop standard, but not most delightfully beautiful standard. There's so much more I could do with these, but I want to follow the magazine, so we'll see how they come out. But yes, that looks rather beautiful. I like the look of that. Next, in issue 16, we get 4 standard bases. We get one slightly bigger, fatter base, and we get some cleary parts. What for? Well, this is for these chaps. Yes, we get a full sprue of 5 Space Marine dudes. This is our 1 Inceptor, 2 Intercessors and 2 Hellblasters, and these look rather delightful. I'm loving the detail on these Hellblasters weapons. They're so massively detailed. Absolutely gorgeous. Now again, like the other Space Marines that we made, it's the not quite Games Workshop plastic, but it's got some beautiful, beautiful crisp details, and it really is rather delightful. And the thing is, if you've never made your Warhammers before, the one thing that really sold me on the Warhammers, on Games Workshop's products, is, at least for the more modern kits, the detail is fantastic. Now again, these are the sort of partly assembled easy builds. You've got all the legs and torsos together, and you stick the torso on the top, the front bit and the arms, so they're not a full, complete, proper traditional Warhammer build or Games Workshop figure build where you get separate legs and everything else, but they are fantastic and they look absolutely awesome. I can't wait to get them all painted up. Lovely. Issue 17, yeah, we've seen this one before. It's the Munitorum armoured container, the barrels and the ammo boxes. Now, like I said earlier on, I'm going to be painting the container in this episode, unlike the other one where I put it to one side. I won't be painting the ammo crates though, because I'm going to put them to one side to go with the other container that's waiting for a proper paint job. And we're not going to be painting the barrels because we don't paint the barrels yet. So we'll be painting this puppy though. And last of all, issue 18. Now, the first two things that come with issue 18 are two more paints. The base paint Rakarth Flesh and the base paint, Mephiston Red. This is my favouriteest paint in the whole Games Workshop range. I love it. Covers beautifully. Can't go wrong. It's a fantastic colour. I love this paint. Now, the Rakarth Flesh, I've not looked through the magazine, but I'm assuming you're going to use this as the thing to go over Bugman's Glow to give you a base sort of skin colour. It's not the colour I would normally use, but I look forward to seeing how they're going to use it. When you see me do my proper painty, I'll probably use different flesh colours. So I can't wait to see how they actually... It'll be used for other things as well, I suspect. But I can't wait to see how they're going to use this. So Rakarth Flesh on Mephiston Red. Oh yes. Whoa. And of course, the other thing that comes with issue 18 is this extra playmat. This thing is massive. I can't get it on screen. This is half size. And it's a more of an industrial imperial city kind of look to it. Now, looking at it carefully, it looks like it's all the models painted up that they've just made into a mat. It's not painted. These are all models that you can buy, like the buildings and parts, and it's quite interesting. But anyway, you've got this part of the city, and on this side, you've got the other half of the city. Very nice. Then if you turn it round the other way, oh, hang on, oh, it's the other way. Oh, can't fold it there. Hang on. Oh, catching on wires. Oh, yeah. Turn it the other way. You've got more imperial-looking terrain. It looks really nice. More building bits there. So you can see how big this thing is. Just shy of 2 foot by 3 foot, basically, when you unfold it all out. Now, the thing with these playmats is they're a bit fall aparty. They're only simple paper. They're not going to last forever, but they'll get you started with something to play on. If you are a premium subscriber, then you do get some more hardcore wooden, well, not wooden, but more sort of thick card playmats in the premium War Gear sets. I've had, well, at least in the first one, we got a big, thick, proper poster board one that's much more durable than this. But if you're not a premium subscriber, this is still pretty cool. It's a nice little playmat. It's just paper though, and it will rip easily with the folding and the folding of the way. So just go carefully with it. If you have to fix it with sellotape, you can do. And finally, the subscriber gift. This is what you get this time free of charge if you are a subscriber to the Partwork. If you're just buying them off shop shelves, you won't get this. But if you're a subscriber, you've got yourself a free gift. It's the Citadel painting handle, which I find invaluable. It's basically just a little grabby handle that you can hold on to, and it just means you don't have to keep manhandling your actual miniatures. And here's the thing in real life. It's beautifully designed. You basically miniature on its base, goes in there like that, and then you can quite happily paint away, and you're not having to touch the miniature. Handling the miniature, even by the base while you're painting it, is not ideal because it's crampy on your hand. You risk getting your thumbprint all over the model somewhere when you touch it when there's wet paint. And last of all, you risk rubbing paint off the model, because with acrylic paint, you can easily remove it just by repeated handling until it's varnished when it's protected. So it just keeps your model safe, and you can access it much easily, and you can paint away. So yeah, this month's free gift, the Citadel painting handle. I love these things. And there you have it, issues 15, 16, 17 and 18, all ready for us to play with, and I can't wait. Now remember, I am doing it a bit differently from now on. In the next episode, we'll be looking solely at issue 15 and getting the Biologist Putrefier built and painted, so stay tuned for that. And then each episode will be a magazine by itself. So hopefully, like I said, it just means you'll get more episodes more often, and they won't be quite as long, and I won't have to cut as many corners to get them done. But that's going to do us for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, of course, if you want to actually do this yourself, I will put a link down to the Warhammer Conquest website in the description below, so you can go and subscribe, become a subscriber to it. I do recommend subscribing rather than just going to your local corner shop or newsagent and buying the issue each week, because you might miss one. And also, there are certain benefits to, like this, you know, there are certain benefits to being a subscriber. And the other thing is, most shops and newsagents, they only keep it in store for maybe the first 10 to 15 issues. After a while, they just stop having it. If nobody's asked them to subscribe, then they just stop doing it. So you may as well subscribe. It is, as each one comes along, it's looking more and more like awesome value for money. I really am quite happy with it so far. I'm having a really good time with this. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, it really is worth it. If you're wanting to start Warhammer and you want a cheap way to get 2 massive armies, or even if you're already an accomplished player and builder and you just want 2 cheap armies, you're going to be paying about £600-700 for over £1,000 worth of stuff. It's kind of a steal, and you're paying it every 2 years, so have a think about it. But yeah, that's going to do us. So thank you very much for watching. Do take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there, you watching with all the eyes on your face. Go be awesome, and until next time, adios amoebas.